What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and we just got the very first new balance patch for the Overwatch 2 beta, featuring a handful of different changes, some pretty handsome buffs for a couple of my favorite tank heroes, and even a brand new Zenyatta ability. There's definitely some interesting things to look at here, so let's jump right on in. Starting off with the damage heroes, Sojourn Alternate Fire, projectile width increased from 0.05 meters to 0.1 meters, and Power Slide, cooldown reduced from 7 to 6 seconds. These are pretty minuscule, just a bit more mobility with that lower cooldown, and of course a bigger projectile means it's going to be easier to hit those headshots. So a couple nice little buffs for Sojourn. Soldier 76, Heavy Pulse Rifle, damage reduced from 20 to 18. Sprint, movement speed reduced from 50 to 40%. Tactical Visor now allows for critical hits if a shot would have been a critical hit without it running, and no longer removes damage fall off from his Heavy Pulse Rifle. Soldier has been pretty strong in the beta thus far, so it's understandable that they're giving him these slight little nerfs like this. Overall, not too big of a deal though. Sombra, movement speed reduced from 65 to 50%. Again, another movement speed buff similar to Soldier's. Mainly this has to do with the fact that damage heroes in general got that passive speed boost buff. So this is a sort of toning down of, how much power exactly they're getting through that by limiting the speed bonus they would get through their other abilities. Moving on to the tank heroes though, this is where things start to get pretty interesting. Roadhog, Whole Hog, this ability has changed from a channeled ultimate into a transformation ultimate. What this means, the weapon no longer automatically fires. You must press primary fire to use the ultimate. You can use normal abilities during Whole Hog without canceling the ultimate. So that would be his chain hook and take a breather, and stuns will no longer cancel the ultimate. This is huge. Roadhog has always been very vulnerable during his ultimate, especially during this beta when you don't have that barrier to protect him. So Orisa's easily just chuck a javelin at him, or Doomfist just fly in there and punch him to stun him out of it. Nope, not anymore. Now he can just freely shoot around as much as he wants, get stunned a bit, shake it off, and just keep shooting. This is an awesome change for Roadhog. I cannot wait to see how people put this into use. Winston also got a nice little buff. Secondary fire ammo cost reduced from 20 to 12. That's just going to make it, less reload, small buff, pretty decent for him. Nothing too exciting though, especially compared to Wrecking Ball. Roll knockback increased by 36%. Yes, I will take any Wrecking Ball buff I can get, and I think this is going to be a very fun change for those of us who play Wrecking Ball. However, some people I imagine probably don't really like the knockback aspect, and that's understandable. I will read through the dev comment for this change specifically because I think this gives some good context for this change. We are reverting Roll's knockback to the original value from when Wrecking Ball was launched. We wanted to give Wrecking Ball a more unique role as a dive tank that can split up enemy teams. We made this change with the tank passive of 30% knockback resistance in mind. So basically, this change is more or less being made so that he can properly boop enemy tanks, which was so important for him back in Overwatch 1, and now he'll at least be able to make up for it a little bit with this nice little bonus, while also keeping tank heroes in general feeling like they have a bit more resistance. I guess the damage and the supports get the short end of the stick in this scenario, but as a ball main myself, I am so excited to see this change. It is going to be fun. And Zarya, Graviton Surge, duration reduced from 4 to 3.5 seconds. Okay, fairly decent nerf on her there. Just means the enemy team won't be trapped quite as long. Not a whole lot to talk about. Moving on to the support heroes though, this is where it certainly gets interesting once again. Lucio Crossfade, self-healing penalty increased from 30% to 60%. So basically his crossfade ability isn't going to heal him as much anymore, which honestly sucks if you're a Lucio player, but the reason they did this, according to the dev comment, Lucio had incredible survivability with crossfade stacked with the new support role passive, so we reduced the amount it heals himself. So basically, much like how the damage heroes got a nerf to their speed with different abilities in order to help balance out their new passive, the same thing was done for Lucio with the self-heal aspect. Probably isn't going to feel great if you're a Lucio player, but I definitely understand why they did it. Moving on to Baptiste. Biotic Launcher, healing ammo increased from 10 to 13. This will be a nice little change for him as it allows him to basically use more grenades, doesn't have to reload as often, which is especially helpful given how spread out teams are in Overwatch 2. He's not going to be getting as much effective AoE from each grenade he fires out, so it's going to be more helpful for him to be able to fire out more before needing to reload, so he can shoot at and heal many separate individual targets as opposed to just one big group. Ana, Biotic Rifle, ammo increased from 12 to 15, and Biotic Grenade, duration reduced from 4 to 3 seconds. Ana has been very strong in this beta so far, and I'm honestly a bit surprised we didn't see a more substantial nerf to her. Definitely that 1 second nerf to Biotic Grenade is gonna be pretty noticeable if you're an Ana player, but they did seemingly want to compensate at least a bit for it with that ammo increase, so I'm curious to see how this ends up playing out in the long run. I don't expect it to really nerf Ana's viability too much, but I guess we'll see. And next up, the single most interesting change in this entire balance patch, Zenyatta's brand new ability. Well, first, I guess actually, base shields increased from 150 to 175, give him a bit more survivability, but now the new passive, Snap Kick. This passive increases quick melee damage by 50% and significantly increases its knockback. Oh my goodness, this is going to be amazing. Zen is literally going to be able to kick people off of maps now. According to the dev comment, Zenyatta has trouble fighting at close range, so he was at a disadvantage if an enemy flanked or jumped on top of him. His new passive, Snap Kick, will help him create space and put enemies at his fighting range. We think this new passive will be a fun adjustment to his kit, but we also want this change to acknowledge community concerns. We understand 5v5 has made support heroes feel more vulnerable, and we wanted to give Zenyatta tools to help create space between him and enemies. This is a very interesting change. I was not expecting us to get something this substantial for a hero, but definitely I'm expecting a lot of people to start playing Zenyatta because this sounds like such a fun change for him. Honestly, in terms of how effective it is, I guess we'll have to wait and see. The ability to kick people back will at least give him a bit of space from, like a Tracer or a Genji, but I feel like more often than not, we're gonna end up seeing people get really cheeky kills where they like kick Reinhardt into the Ilios well or something. Oh my god, there are gonna be some great clips coming from this. And moving on to the final hero who got changes in this first Overwatch 2 balance patch, Brigitte, Shield Bash, Knockback, doubled. It's difficult to tell when Brigitte lands a shield bash because the impact of that ability was not easily noticeable. This is a subtle change that will make the ability feel more satisfying. Honestly, the knockback of shield bash has been pretty low thus far, so even if they double it, I'm not terribly optimistic about how much better that'll make her feel. I'm really disappointed Brig didn't get any additional changes beyond this, since I feel like she's become one of, if not the most underwhelming heroes to play at the moment, certainly when it comes to the support category. So maybe we'll see a bit more for her in the long run, but for the time being, hey, I guess it's better than nothing. Anyways, that does it for the patch notes of this first Overwatch 2 beta balance update. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below. Are you excited to get to try out Zenyatta's new Snap Kick ability? That sounds so much fun to me personally, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on all that in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, hit up that bell icon, and come join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch content. Special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible, and if you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.